Welcome to another episode of Viking Women's Basketball with Lynn Kennedy. For the second straight week, we're talking after a close game on Saturday that unfortunately went against the Vikings. Idaho State beating the Vikings 58-57 on a last-second three-point shot. And, Coach, we'll start there. 3 of your 4 losses this season have been by 5 points or less. So none of these are bad games. But how do you rally the team to make sure they don't focus on the negative side and focus on the positives?
Yeah, I think especially when you look at the last 2 games against Idaho and Idaho State, having close games, but being in a position to win those games, having, really 2 opportunities against Idaho and then 2 opportunities against Idaho State to win those games and come away with wins. But I think you have to look at really the entire game. If we start focusing in on, 1 possession or 1 rebound or 1 stop and look at maybe even 1 quarter, then that's where you can get your teams in trouble. We have to look at the entire game and the things that we need to do to continue to get better. The Big Sky Conference is a long season, and we understand that. But at the same time, we've got to correct some of those mistakes that we made early on in the game and then just be better in last-minute situations.
And to pick up on something you said on Saturday to our play-by-play announcer, Terry Mariani, you mentioned that no one was going to win the Big Sky tournament that day, which was obviously true. And in fact, we're only halfway through the Big Sky schedule. There's still 10 more games to go. What will you need to do to make sure you're peaking at the Big Sky tournament, which is what you want to do ultimately?
Yeah, and the reason I said that is sometimes coaches put too much emphasis on 1 game or 2 games or a road game or a home game. And I think for us with our team, it's, how are we improving each game? How are we improving each practice? Are we getting better? Are we playing our best basketball in March? And I think that's everybody wants to be there, but to actually do it, that's a tough thing to do. And I've liked where we were the last couple of years as far as, getting it to the Big Sky Conference semifinals back-to-back years and playing our best basketball with those teams in March. We want to have the same really outlook for our team this year. We have higher goals and higher expectations, but at the same time, you can't put too much emphasis on 1 game. Sure, both us and Idaho State would like to win the tournament last Saturday, but it's not going to happen. It wasn't the right time. But, for us going forward, we've got to get better, learn from, really each and every game, and then get back to work today, and that's what we did.
And then another thing about both games last weekend was your strong third quarters. Against Weber State on Thursday, you guys went 8 of 12 in the third quarter and buried the Wildcats. Saturday's game was always going to be a close game, but still you turned it around, 5-point deficit at halftime to a 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter. What has been good for you guys coming out of halftime? And then, of course, to be selfish, how can we spread that over the whole game?
Well, I think you have to look at our experience. I think you look at the last couple years, we were still learning how to play in those games. Now we have that experience. We can come out after halftime and make adjustments. We know the things we're trying to accomplish when we talk. As coaches, we have, things that we're talking about at halftime, and we're able to make those adjustments, come out, execute. But I think you also look at the top 4 teams in the conference, too, and I think that's what maybe separates the teams in the top 4 positions. They have experience, veteran players that have been there, that have done it in this conference, and they've able to, extend the leads when they have them, able to come back from leads, from deficits in some of those games. And so I think that's what separates maybe the top teams from the bottom teams in the conference, but it also shows that, we have to be better. We have to be not only good in the third and fourth quarters, but also good in the first and second. But you're getting the best from every team coming in, too, as well. So I think you have to look at that as well. You're getting Weber State came in. They played a great half, probably one of their best halves of the season, and then we played a better third.
All right, we'll get into this weekend now. Sac State comes to the Viking Pavilion on Thursday. Sac State PSU games are always entertaining, especially under you. What do you see out of the Hornets, who played that familiar up-tempo style?
Yeah, I think, playing Sac State, it's a rival game, and regardless of the sport, I think when you have Portland State and Sac State, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a battle. So I think, going into this game for us, you're seeing a team in Sac State that's playing their best basketball right now. They were up and down a little bit early on in the season. They have 2 of the better players in the conference, and Friend and Nicholas, so they're playing high-level basketball. They've changed a little bit of what they're doing. They're not as up-tempo, but they have the ability to score a lot of points, very quickly, and we've got to be able to create tempo, and not necessarily a fast tempo the entire game, but pick and choose our spots, slow them down on the offensive end, and keep them off the glass. Because I think by them getting second chance points in a lot of these games in the last couple of weeks, they've been getting confidence, they've been getting outside shots, open looks. We can't allow that. So we've got to really rebound the basketball on Thursday. But they're a team coming in with a lot of confidence.
All right, and then on Saturday, you guys have a rematch against Northern Colorado, the defending champs. They beat you to start the Big Sky year in a game that was closer than the final score really indicated. What do you see out of the second match against them?
Well, it's going to be a tight game again. I think, they're a little bit different now. I think their role players are accepting their roles now, and they're actually playing better now than they were when we played them the first time. And the first game, we got down early, able to come back in the second quarter, third quarter, and then it was really a close game. We had a chance to extend our lead in the fourth. They went on their run to finish the game. But I think, looking forward to this game, we can still improve from that first game. And there's a lot of things that we can change, and we're hoping to do that Saturday. But, looking at Thursday night, we got to be ready to play on Thursday night, and then we'll focus on Saturday when it comes.
All right, once again, it's Thursday, 7 p.m., Sacramento State, Saturday, 2 p.m., Northern Colorado, right here at the Viking Pavilion. For all your women's basketball information, go to GoVikes.com.